this is my cheap Indian Chief. And I say that because at the point in time when I got it, it was the cheapest Indian Chief that you can get in the country because the bike was wrecked at the time. But now the bike is not wrecked, it's rideable. And if you look at it right now, you can't tell that it was wrecked. But when we got it, a part of the fun is taking things apart, looking at it, going like, whoa, this is messed up. What else is messed up? What's fixable? What's salvageable? And what parts we're able to save. But part of it is also having that speculative moment where you go, why is this missing? Why is this dented? Why was this piece of the bike covered up? And that's because, everything has a story, from the bugs buzzing around here, these bikes, me, you watching, we all have stories, down to the piece of paper that's floating down the highway. You just don't know what the story is of that thing before it comes in contact with you. And these bikes are the exact same way. My M109R, for instance, it was wrecked by me at some point, but you look at it and you can't tell because you don't know its story. You may see the scratch on the tank, but you don't know how that got there. The way I found the rider is simply by going through the Indian motorcycle forums. Some of you reached out beforehand and told me that you saw this bike in the forums before, so that kind of gave me, a bit of clues of where to look. But it literally did not take long, and I reached out, and the first thing I said was, "Hey, I hope you're okay." But I'm the person that bought your motorcycle, gave that whole spiel. And they essentially, told me the story. And I asked them beforehand, like, is this okay to share? And they thought it was a good learning experience. So of course, they gave me the okay. But basically what happened, man, is they were, took a curve too hot. They low-sided the bike flipped, and they went with the bike in a ditch. And that's what happened, and they totaled the bike out. And they actually tried to get the bike back from the auction, so I'm not really sure what happened with that. But they did not come out of this unharmed. They ended up breaking both of their legs, and they broke one of their arms. So this was definitely a very painful accident. And again, this just shows that we don't always know what happens to these motorcycles, especially when you get them from, internet auctions or wreck, or really even a bike that's not wrecked. You don't know what the previous person was doing with this or anything. But for instance, when we were trying to figure out what happened to the rod command on the bike, we were thinking like maybe somebody lifted it while it was at the auction, and come to find out, the person or the previous owner said no, when the bike was loaded, it wasn't on there. So basically the rod command's still in a ditch wherever the bike was wrecked. So I tried to get the address or the location from them, but they couldn't really tell me where it was. So that's unfortunate. And also the second thing is the plastic dip fender. We're trying to figure out, like, once you start peeling back the plastic dip, we're like, oh wait, it's scuffed up. And we're thinking, oh, the rider, they abused this bike and they just didn't take care of it. And come to find out, they just had a backpack that scraped the fender. And what's unfortunate is they plastic dipped it to cover it up. And right before, I want to say they said like a week to 2 weeks before they wrecked it, they were scheduled to take the bike in to get it fixed. They had an appointment to get it fixed. And unfortunately, the bike didn't make it. But luckily, they're still here. But that just goes to show you, again, you just don't know the story by looking at something at face value. So, yeah, I ended up with the bike, and I explained to them that I was rebuilding it. And I explained that, I'm showing people on YouTube how to work on these bikes and how to get wrecked bikes. And they thought it was really cool, and they were very supportive of what I do here. And they were very happy that not only is somebody rebuilding the bike that they owned, they're also showing other people what's involved with fixing bikes and inspiring people with this series. So they're very happy that I'm putting this bike back together and also putting it to a good community use as well. Part of the fun of rebuilding a wrecked motorcycle is just taking it all apart and trying to figure out, how am I going to get this part because this bolt's broken off? Or for instance, when we got the bikes delivered, the first bike, the Super Chief, it was a pain trying to get that bike off of that trailer with just a motorcycle jack and a car jack. But we got it done. And then the next time I was a little bit smarter about it, and we were able to get this one with less effort, even though it was still difficult. So it's always about learning, constant learning. And I feel like I'm finding a bit of purpose rebuilding these bikes and getting them back on the road and just showing people what a regular person can do. It's just so much fun. But we have the bike, it's done, and it is it's great to get the story behind this bike and also show you guys the new story that this bike will have in the future, because I'm going to be giving this bike away to one of you watching that has entered for the giveaway to win this bike. And if you have not entered for the giveaway to win this bike, you can head over to BrandonBicasso.com, get you a sticker pack, and that will be your entry into win that bike. And the reason why we're even doing the giveaway, one, because it allows me to keep doing this. And educate everybody, including myself, on what it takes to rebuild these bikes, and also have another option versus buying new or buying used. You might just be, if you like wrenching on bikes, you can buy your wrecked bike. So yeah, that is the story, man. That's the story on reaching out to the rider and finding out the real story behind this bike. So it's really cool to know. But if you wanted to catch up on the entire series on this bike from the moment we got it to the moment it's rebuilt, you can click this playlist right here on the screen and start from the very beginning. And again, if you want to get in to win that bike, you can head over to BrandonBicasso.com by clicking right here, and it'll take you right there to it. But as always, thanks for listening to my story. Thanks for supporting these series. And if you're subscribed, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.